How do we get motivated for fitness? Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today. And again, this is a question I get asked a lot because people are like, you vlog all your workouts. We see you even vlog cardio all the time. Like, you've literally put up 7 days in a row of cardio vlogs. You do your 5-day-a-week lifting, it all goes up. And you've been doing this for years and years and years. You know, in fact, I have 25 years in the game, closing in on 50 now. So again, I'm beyond 25 years in the game at this point. So how do I stay motivated? What is the key? And I'm going to tell people I'm not motivated. I'm not always motivated. And I think this is the big mistake that people make. They think that they need to be hyped up and motivated all the time. And I can tell you right now, that's why so many people struggle with motivation. That's why they're like, man, where do I find motivation? How do I find it? Because I can't stay motivated. Of course you can't. Nobody can. We can't rely on motivation, because when you rely on motivation, when you rely on hype, okay, that fire lit under your butt, it will eventually fade. Right? 99% of people cannot sustain that. So you can't use motivation. It is just not a long-term viable strategy. Like, that's just not how you get the results in the long term. It's how you get started on day one. That's it. It's not useful beyond that. So what then do we do? I'd say the biggest mistake is that people let the motivation drive them early. And what happens, and I think everyone who struggles with this is going to understand, a light bulb's going to click for you. When you do that, you push everything you have, right? It becomes this big, big ordeal. You make it into a really big deal. You try to do a boot camp. You try to do this crazy strict diet. You try to do this exercise routine that you know really isn't sustainable. Okay? You make way too many dietary changes all at once. You just go all in, and then you backslide on it when you lose motivation. All right. That's a problem. That's the problem. You try to bite off more than you can chew. And it doesn't work. Because that motivation is going to fade. That fire is going to fade a little bit at some point. Very few people can sustain that. Those are extremely rare individuals. So what's a better strategy? Stop trying to do too much at once. Step back and go, okay, I know that I have a bunch of long-term goals. I know that there is no fast results. I know that anything I do with fitness is going to be long-term lifestyle changes over months and years. So how do I make it doable? You do it in bite-sized chunks. All right, you step back and say, okay, instead of trying to change 15 things, can I change 2 things? What? Can I just simply start working out? How about you start walking, and then week 3, 2 or 3, you add resistance training. All right, here's what I'm going to say. Start walking every day. Like, if you're completely new to fitness, just get up and start walking every day. If you've been doing this a while and you keep jumping back, make your commitment to get to the gym. So let's say you're someone who's struggled with this, and then you're like, well, I'm just going to go to the gym every day, and then I get exhausted and burn out. Well, stop. Do a 3-day-a-week program. Go lift 3 days a week. That's it. And have it on set days. So if you say it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, then you set your alarm and you get up every morning and you go do it. In fact, do it before work. You can do it every morning. Don't try to do the evening thing when you're new to it. Wake up earlier. Get your butt to the gym. Or to your home gym, or whatever your lifting needs to be. Okay? But you need to have it in a set schedule. All right, and here's why. Because then it becomes a habit. It becomes a habit, and once it becomes a habit, this is what we want. But change one thing. Same thing with your diet. Make one change. Like, if you're fairly new to it, okay, I'm just going to cut sugary drinks out. Do that for a couple weeks. Then it becomes your normal. Then say, well, I'm going to add more vegetables, more fruits, more vegetables to my diet. I'm going to make sure to add an extra serving of vegetables every single day. You make small changes like that. Every 2 or 3 weeks, add a new change to your diet, a new change to your exercise. Okay? Make it into habits that are sustainable, because anybody can do that. Look, how hard is it to just say, hey, look, I'm going to add 1 serving of vegetables every day to my food? Is that a major diet change? Is that something that anybody out there says, oh, yeah, I mean, I could do that? That's easy. Following this crazy ketovore diet is not. Okay. Make 1 change. And stick to it. Because then it turns into a habit. Okay? And people say, how do we get disciplined? Well, you get disciplined by changing your habits. Developing 9 or 10 small habits that you sustain because they became easy because you did them every day or on your set rotation. That's what creates discipline. That's what makes you a disciplined person down the road. Right? Once these things become your normal, it gets really, really easy. It gets really easy once it becomes your normal. And that's the goal. You don't want it to be hard. I mean, yeah, some of the stuff I do is hard, but how long have I been doing this? And this is also my career at this point. You probably work really hard at your job too. Okay? You probably work really hard at your job. Most of you, I bet you do. Right? I hope you do. So that's the difference there. But for the rest of you, it's about creating those habits. That will create the discipline. And when you do that, you don't have to rely on that motivation. Man, I need to go find the newest hype video. I need this inspiration. I have to go watch C.T. Fletcher light weights on fire and curl them and scream, we do ignorant ass in this MF. Right? You don't have to have that anymore. But everyone's looking for that hype instead of just creating discipline through your habits. Okay? And the people who have that hype all the time, they're rare. I've only coached 2 of those people in my life. Like in terms of my long-term coaching, who really and truly have it. That's like 1% of the population. For everybody else, you have to just create discipline through small habits. And that really is the key, guys. That way you're no longer reliant on the motivation. So when you're not motivated, when you're not feeling like doing all of this, you just get up and you go do it anyways because it's your normal. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.